Credit Trades here, and today I finally got to review the Diode Dynamics SL1 headlight. And this is an LED headlight that replaces the H11 or the main beams on most vehicles. Now, when I first heard about Diode Dynamics, I heard a lot of people online recommend these bulbs, and I was a little bit skeptical because they were about 4 times as much as some of the competing bulbs for LED headlights. And the price point to buy them is very expensive, it's very high, and I totally understand why you would shy away from them because of that high price point. And I really thought it was kind of a gimmick, like they go off of a well-known brand, it's USA made. That's not very common in the LED bulb world, and I thought that they were just trying to go off of a well-known brand name recognition, USA made, to sell bulbs that are expensive. And after looking at it, that's totally not the case. They are a very well built bulb, and these bulbs really are not on the same playing field as all the other LED headlights that are out there. They just aren't. They're made completely different. They actually took the time to look at each individual component and make the best possible choice for each component so that these bulbs work seamlessly and work really well to mimic the OEM halogen headlight bulbs. If you're looking to purchase these bulbs, check out a link in the description to purchase them on Amazon. So here is the Diode Dynamic SL1. These bulbs are super easy to install, by the way. All you have to do to install them is unscrew the halogens by doing counterclockwise, unclip them from their clip, plug these new clips in, and they have these nice little extensions to help make the installation easier, and they fit better in tight spaces. You plug them in, you turn them clockwise. Now I'm going to go into what makes these bulbs different, and then I'm going to show you how well they compare to the OEM halogen bulbs. And it's amazing how well they are at mimicking the same light output as the halogen bulbs. So when looking at the SL1 compared to all the other LEDs that are out there, I've reviewed about 10 different ones, so I've seen a lot of different LED bulbs, anywhere from $10 a bulb all the way up to like $80 a bulb. And when you look at this compared to those, this one is much heavier. All the other ones are fairly light. And so the biggest thing I've noticed between Diode Dynamics and the rest of the bulbs out there is they use zinc instead of aluminum for their bulbs. And basically what that is a much better heat sink, and it allows the bulb to dissipate heat, which allows it to work a lot longer duration. When you create a lot of heat, a lot of the times it will break down materials a lot quicker. And so that's what they use instead of aluminum, like all the other bulbs do. There's 2 super important things I've noticed as well. The first one is the chips, and the chips that they use, the LEDs, they are extremely small, and when you measure them and you look at them, I thought kind of all the LED bulbs use the same size chips, the same size LEDs, but they really don't. They're all over the board, different width, different thicknesses, and these ones are extremely thin, and so they get really close to mimicking the exact size of the filament in your halogen bulb. And that is why they do such a good job at mimicking the light output of a halogen bulb. The second thing I've noticed, these tabs here on the bulb housing that allow it to screw into your socket in your headlight, these are extremely tight. And the reason they're so tight is because when you screw that bulb into your housing, you don't want it to wiggle at all. You don't want it to be off by even like a millimeter. If it's off by a millimeter or like half a millimeter, then it's not going to push the light exactly where it needs to go, and it's not going to mimic a halogen bulb output. The tabs are so much more precise on this bulb. When you screw this bulb in and get it into place, it doesn't wiggle at all. When you try and wiggle it, the whole housing wants to move, not just the bulb in the housing. When you put these other ones in, they have little tiny tabs, they wobble all over the place. And so when they're wobbling, again, they're going to be spraying light everywhere. So for this test, I parked my car in the same spot, and as you can see, the halogen bulbs and the Diode Dynamic SL1 have almost an exact same beam pattern. They have almost an exact same cutoff line. It's within like a quarter or a half an inch. It's very close with how well these bulbs do at mimicking the halogen light output. And when I was going into this, I was like, how can this be so much more expensive? It can't be that much better than all the rest of the bulbs, and it really is. I did a test between all these bulbs. I'll link it up here at the end of the video so you can check that out, where I tested all of them and put all their cutoff points all together on one spot, and it's pretty interesting, the results with how close these are to halogen bulbs. So there's really not much else to say about Diode Dynamics. Are they expensive? Yes. Do they work really well? Yes. Are they better than all the other bulbs that are out there on the market that I've seen so far? Yes, they are. They're really, really good bulbs, and that's why they cost so much. The support for them is extremely good. I'll email them and they'll email me right back. They also will send me like text sheets of all the different information about the bulbs. Anything I've asked, they've had an exact answer to. When I ask some of these Chinese companies about certain things about their bulb, they just say, hey, it's brighter than the rest and it mimics the OEM pattern. They don't really go into much detail about why it does that or how they do that. They just kind of give a really generic answer. And that's another thing you can tell, that Diode Dynamics really knows their stuff. They know exactly how to make the bulbs mimic the OEM halogen bulb output. And so that is why they are very good. If you have any other questions, let me know in the comments below and I'll answer those for you.